It's official, the breaking news update in the ICC Champions Trophy straight up. New Zealand's 5-wicket win versus Bangladesh has ensured India and New Zealand are your first two semi-finals.
Let me take that breaking news to another level. Let me extend that for you a bit. When we know the first two teams to qualify from a group, that also tells us the first two teams to get disqualified from that group as well.
Disqualified, knocked out.
Eliminated, if not disqualified. Eliminated, and as Shashwat said, not qualify.
Knocked out.
Knocked out.
Yeah.
We must say knocked
This
out.
the
After
app.
all, it is...
They have been knocked out.
It is the recrescent ICC knockout trophy that we are talking about. So Bangladesh, Pakistan will have to go back home. Pakistan quite literally, because they have to play the next match again in their shows.
Yeah.
And Bangladesh as well, I think they stay there only.
They stay there.
They stay there, but soon enough they'll be the next team to pack their bags and head home.
One more thing has happened though. There was a situation you gave to Harshit sir during the dugout that if New Zealand end up losing this game, would it change? Now Harshit sir,
But
thankfully it doesn't have to change.
It was just a few hours back, and I like that you pointed that out. You pointed that out, in fact, because I also, while there was a bit of a googly by Siddharth, I did say that I trust them to still grind it out and get the win, and that's exactly what.
And there you have the queue. The queue has been attached to both New Zealand and India. New Zealand are on top because of a better net run rate. India are second. No team can now get to 4 points, and that is why officially no other team apart from India and New Zealand can get to 4. And that is why with this 5-wicket win now, New Zealand and India, the match that's going to happen on March 2 is a dead rubber. Bangladesh, Pakistan is also a dead rubber. And whatever happens tomorrow in Group B onwards, that will be very, very interesting.
So this also reminds you have some sort of a name attached to Pakistan Bangladesh rivalry as well. Now, what derby do you call it?
Nagin derby.
No, that's the Sri Lanka Bangladesh.
What do you
I'd
call
rather
You
not
do
call
have
that.
some name
I
for it,
haven't
yeah?
Tell na.
But I will say it off camera, because understand one thing, it will inflame a lot of sentiments which are there on the eastern side of the border and the western side of the border as well that India has. So please.
That's fine. We can revisit it
So,
some other time.
Clinical performance when you look at it, and India rewarded for their two very important wins versus Bangladesh and Pakistan. New Zealand have been rewarded by wins against Pakistan and Bangladesh.
Of course, we'll get some time to spend on what exactly happened in Rawalpindi in the match between Bangladesh and New Zealand. But before that, since we have the first two teams to qualify for the Champions Trophy, was there anyone who had picked any other side besides these two?
No, I had.
You
I had
picked
predicted.
Pakistan.
Yeah, I had picked Pakistan.
So how surprised are you now?
I'm actually very surprised. I'll be very honest, because
And
again,
this should not be any googly, because the writing was on the wall.
Yeah. No, I'm a little surprised, because I was expecting Pakistan to do much better, at least against New Zealand, keeping in mind the conditions they had in offer. I think what they did during the first game, was the Turner dished out to them, or was that what they asked for? I think it was the same kind of mistake India made on 19th of November if Pakistan had asked for that sort of
And
a service.
Dubai, they had no control over.
Dubai I'll tell you this also off camera. I'd heard
They had control.
No.
But ICC takes control.
But
no?
Shahid Afridi had something else to say on it. That I will tell you later.
Shahid, you are trusting Shahid Afridi.
No, I'm not trusting anyone. You know not what they did during
The
the
guy-
World Cup. They have a chip and all of this.
No.
That's
The guy who retired more times than the number of ODI appearances that he had, his conspiracy theories and all should never ever be taken, even with a pinch of salt.
But yeah, just getting back, it's a little surprising that Pakistan weren't able to beat New Zealand on that day, and after that India, it was anyways going to be tough for them to beat. So I was expecting them to beat New Zealand and Bangladesh and qualify, but that clearly not the case. And again, New Zealand starting to remind me that you can, like I said for Australia, when many people, I think you, so I remember two people not keeping Australia in their top 4 when we were doing the predicting. I think we both kept them, and him and Gulati sir did not.
Yeah.
So at that time I had said this, that keeping Australia out of an ICC event, not counting them in, is absolutely a big mistake. I think the same thing applies for New Zealand as well. That come the ICC event, whatever questions are on them. Because there's also a reason because they're not making the noises in that sense. Not too many people are talking about them, and then suddenly they
Which
come.
people? It's people like you and me only.
I mean,
We are not talking about
Siddharth
New
goes
Zealand.
gaga about them
Yeah.
the whole day.
I mean, when you look
But
at
he doesn't give them that much importance.
See, for me, if they lose a final or anything, it's not the end of the world for me. If India lose or Australia lose, any of the teams that lose a final, it's just a game. It's not the end of the world for me. Okay, that's why I have maintained that kind of a thing. Okay, you lose, you win. Okay, but New Zealand, look at their ODI performance, not T20s. T20s have been very erratic.
Semi-finalists.
1999 semi-finalists, 2003 in the Super 6, 2007 semi-finalists, 11 semi-finalists, 15 finalists, 19 finalists, 23 semi-finalists. Now yet again in the CT
We are
2025.
not counting WTCs here.
WTC I'm not counting, but for the first time, if I may recollect, after 2009, they have qualified for the semi-finals of Champions Trophy. 13, they didn't qualify. 17, they didn't qualify. Got knocked out by Bangladesh. So it's revenge for them also.
Yeah.
First win for New Zealand in Rawalpindi ever. They have never won an ODI in Rawalpindi.
And the hosts are the first ones to get knocked out of the tournament.
Pakistan's ICC Champions Trophy hopes. They wanted 30 years. They waited 30 years to host an ICC event. They have lasted just 5 days. That's it. 30 साल का मेहनत undone in 5 days for Pakistan. And you cannot have any kind of sympathy for Pakistan because the kind of template that they play in, the kind of ODI cricket that they play in, I am never going to pay a ticket to watch them.
The sort of embarrassment that they are faced with right now, I feel it's that time that the little analogy that I can draw is when Indian cricket was left in an embarrassed state because of what happened on the field was perhaps 22, where you felt that you
21 as well.
More than 20 to 21. I agree with them. 21.
22 as well. That England match, I think
At
there was
least
a lot of
No,
build
not
up
the
to it as
Pakistan
well.
game. First Pakistan game in 21.
Yeah, you lost 2 matches then, New Zealand.
But the first
By
game you
10
10
wickets
wickets
and 8 wickets.
against
But
Pakistan.
what happened in 22 was a build up of a series of events.
Yep.
Of there being a lot of talk about aggressive stroke play, this and that, but you stuck to your guns and it backfired. So that time you really had to rethink your own philosophy, you had to recalibrate, you had to come up with something new, and that Indian cricket had to do. Pakistan cricket, and then when did you reap the reward for that? 2 years later, in
Yes.
24.
Yes.
I think Pakistan cricket, if there can be any association or analogy that I can draw, I think has reached that point in ODI cricket also, where it needs to look itself in the mirror, realize where things are going wrong, acknowledge where things are going wrong, because the entire world seems to know where things are going wrong with Pakistan cricket or what's right with Pakistan cricket.
What is right with Pakistan cricket?
Why
Indeed,
we say that, you will get
that
to
story
know that,
will
because
be
that's
up.
not coming from us, it's coming from somebody who follows cricket very closely in Pakistan. It's a Pakistan journalist who was in conversation with India today. That chat is coming up with Rajdeep Sardesai
Yes.
very shortly.
You
So-
don't want to miss it. It's a very brutal, direct assessment of Pakistan cricket where it is.
So
No, I think
for
the cricket is
Pakistan,
in a
they need to
miserable
realize.
state.
They really need to, and they need to act. And once they act, now the thing with Pakistan is, even if they acknowledge or wrongly acknowledge something, they will overreact. What leads to overreaction? 8 coaches in the last 6 years, 26 different selectors.
Maybe a 9th coach coming up because there are reports doing the rounds that Aqib Javed
I'm
is set to
saying
get sacked.
these are still these are lower level posts in that sense. The main person, Mohsin, that person has been changed so many times before.
PCB,
Mohsin,
yeah.
Since
PCB
21,
chair
we were
head.
seeing there has been Ramiz
4
Raja.
heads.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
been Ramiz Raja. There's been Najam Sethi.
There's been Zaka Ashraf.
Zaka Ashraf, and now you've got
Mohsin
Mohsin
Naqvi.
Naqvi. So you've got a chief coming in every year, and who's to say that Mohsin Naqvi will last the whole year?
Because no, that's the whole problem. One person comes, he tries to set everything correct. By the time he just settles in, gets his people, then he goes. Then
Today,
somebody else
There's
comes.
a power struggle inside the squad. This is something
That's
that
the whole
surfaced
problem.
during the 2023 World Cup. So there's multiple issues. Where do you even start from in Pakistan cricket?
You know-
so you need to start clearing out the trash. Yes, you realize the house is
You're
dirty.
calling
There's so much of
players
trash,
trash?
but I'm saying there's so much trash in the house. What do you do then?
In
You
the
can't just be-
administration.
You can't just be sitting back and just be okay with it. Go, pick up the trash, put one of those buckets outside, put one of the bins outside, then you come pick the other one, and that's how you go about the business. Somewhere the cleaning and the sanitization needs to begin.
See, with Pakistan, it's a dark day for them for two reasons. One, officially, no Kudrat ka Nizam, and stop believing that if you have to start winning. Which Sunil Gavaskar himself highlighted in a very brilliant point that he spoke on Sports Today. He stated, Pakistan are playing as if to survive. And if you survive, if you play with that mindset, you'll never become champions.
He also very rightly said that India's B team, which does have a Rinku and a Yashashvi,
Rituraj.
and your maybe Shivam Dubey will also make that team, and so many of
Abhishek
these
and
other
everyone.
Abhishek will make that team. There'll be a Tilak Verma in that team. There'll be a Prasidh Krishna in that team. So many other guys that we can name. Mayank could make it to that team. Even that team will challenge this Pakistan side.
Exactly. So that's why today officially been eliminated. Second, call it opportune or a Kudrat ka Nizam in a dark way. A terror threat has emerged. In all the venues that
But
is
that
there.
has nothing to do with them losing these two
No,
matches
but
now.
in Champions Trophy, Pakistan, everybody was saying it will be unsafe. Yes, the security apparatus has been good in Pakistan. You have to give kudos to where you have to give them because they have been good with the security. But a terror threat is lurking. And if anything goes wrong, if anything, God forbid anything goes wrong, pray for Pakistan because no team will then set
There
foot in the
could
country.
be, yeah. It'll again send them a decade or two back.
Already it is. They are playing cricket like the 90s. They're already 2 decades back because teams didn't visit them for 6 years. Plus, whatever their administration, their political establishments have done, because of that, their players are not getting exposure. They're not able to play the IPL. The skill set is so down. At least in the early 90s, India at least had some players who could have a skill set which could challenge them. Here there is nothing. For 12 years, your Pakistan players have gone so far back. That's why today India and New Zealand are your first teams.
No, even if they are not able to play the IPL, I think just in general, see, I feel that now game, what the quality of their players is, I think these things too are very late in that pecking order of what the problems are. I think the basic problem first is there is no leadership. There is nobody to guide the whole Pakistan cricket out of this first. I think game quality, I think Pakistan should not be even talking about these things because these are the least
So
of the
forget
worries.
the skill aspect of it.
Yeah,
You're
right
saying
now, yeah.
administratively,
Bases are only not
structure-wise,
right.
Get things in order.
Yeah.
The bases are only not right at this point. How are you expecting players to play cricket? Everyone is fighting for their own position now. Aqib Javed, now he has just come in. What selectors, coaches do is, as soon as coaches come, they want to fill in people with their sort of players because they know so that the knife is not on them. Because these are the same players who will tomorrow turn around and say that it's the coach's fault and the coach will want to go out. Why Babar Azam and everyone wants flat pitches in Pakistan? When they come outside, everyone wants to get to 50 because Babar Azam knows if I'm not scoring runs, I'll be the first one to get out. When everyone in the team is thinking about their own place, then how will the team win? There's no possibility. Everyone wants to feel secure first and everyone is insecure in that team. Nobody can do well. So when the basis is only wrong, skill set and all of these things to come very late in cricket, I feel.
Administratively, you are in a mess. Domestic cricket wise, you are in a mess.
There is no domestic cricket there.
Whatever it is, whatever exists of skeleton of
What
that.
about the powerful PSL?
Powerful? PSL, that can't come in the same statement because it is ironic. If the PSL was so strong, at least your ODI or T20I cricket
Very
would be
recently,
robust.
you had a Lankan player leave PSL and
Go to the IL T20. Dasun Shanaka, indeed. Why is that? Because see,
no, I think he went to IL T20.
that's what I said. IL
Yeah,
T20.
IL T20. But PSL, we have not reached that stage where
You
players are
haven't
leaving.
reached that stage, but the problem is, see, if your PSL was robust, your T20 fortunes were an upswing. But look at 2024, you lost to USA. You lost to USA and that is why you are out. Look at ODI cricket, you're staggered back by a decade, even further. You're playing cricket like the 90s, slow, steady. I think we can defend 250, 260. No, boss, you don't have the bowlers. And that is why you are rightfully at the bottom, minus 1.087 with an NRR, with 0 wins. 30 years you tried to get an ICC event. Your parties lasted 5
I have a question for
days.
Sarshwat before we get to the questions. One last question that I have for him. Because he saw Pakistan being the second best team in the group after India. Of what we've seen in 2 matches from Bangladesh and Pakistan, since the two will be going head to head against each other, Who do you pick to be the winner of that match?
That's a tough question, but I think it's going to
I
be
remember
very
they're
close.
both scoring almost the same
Yeah,
runs.
yeah,
See,
yeah.
20 to 240
I think-
is what Bangladesh have loved.
I wouldn't be surprised if Bangladesh start with an edge and end up
So
winning
bottom?
that game. Yeah, because see again the whole problem.
Bangladesh did
Arey,
beat Pakistan in 2
yesterday-
tests.
Yeah, I was just listening to somebody yesterday over there. They were shocked to know that in India to become a selector, you have to play certain number of first class matches. They were shocked to know this, that there is a rule, such rule in Indian cricket. Just imagine over there is no rule. Anybody can become the selector. They have umpires picking the team. They have statisticians in their team who are picking the team. They are part of the
Statisticians,
selection committee.
Soon they'll be out of jobs because ChatGPT will do everything for you, na?
But the statistician his job is not to give stats. He's been a statistician at some point. Now he's part of the selection committee. Come on, you can't have umpires and statisticians, these people
Statisticians,
to
yeah.
be the selectors of the national team, and then they are picking this team.
As I said, that's why your party lasted just 5 days.
And these Babar Rizwana still playing T20 cricket and all formats of the game. At some point, they'll have to say goodbye.
In fact-
at some point.
In fact, this party turned out to be a damn squib for the people of the country. So it had to be a party. It turned out to be a damn squib.
Damn squib. No crowd. You've got a hoarding by which your spikes have absolutely destroyed the fabric
that
of it.
made for
Awful
such bad
viewing.
Arey,
Bad? Awful. A camera is focusing on debris. That has been done because you didn't have the facility, you didn't have the money to ensure you get it to
Visually,
The hoardings
now
have
visual
photos of-
graphics and everything.
The hoardings have photos of Powell, yaar. Come on, he's not. West Indies is not even in the Champions Trophy.
Beat that. Beat that.
Can you beat that?
If you wanted shambolism, you got it in Pakistan. So far. So that's what Sandpaper is telling us. 19th February, opening ceremony. 23 February, closing ceremony. 24 Feb for confirmation. 5 days. For 30 years you waited for this. Pakistan, you waited for this. Congratulations, you're out in 5 days. That's the way we look at it. So yes, for people joining us, Rachin Ravindra's 100, Michael Bracewell's 4 wickets have
His
ensured
best figures.
that New Zealand are through to the semi-finals along with India. But Rachin Ravindra, man oh man, what a talent. ODI World Cup debut 100. CT World Cup, CT debut 100. What a player. That's why I think Rachin Ravindra is rightfully dubbed as one of the most promising talents that New Zealand
which is
ever
why at the IPL auction, people confused his ODI form with T20 as well, and he got that big money as well.
From CSK, yes,
Yeah.
he
He
did.
did perform in the IPL as well. Decent.
Decent. The
It wasn't
returns
bad.
weren't-
Not
Wasn't bad.
to that standard that we all thought.
Yeah,
it would
of
be.
course, but it was a
But
decent IPL.
Clearly, one thing we know is he's certainly liking playing in the
Asia.
subcontinent.
I mean, didn't he set up the win for New Zealand with that 100 against India and Bengaluru?
Yes. I was
He
coming to
and
that.
Tim Saudi, yes.
Yes.
And apart from that, Rachin, his stroke play is simply
I think
magnificent.
there was no doubt on his caliber. He's still been called as the next part of the next Fab Four, anyways. So I think we know that what he's capable of, and he's exactly doing that.
Raj Das Gupta, Bangladesh still fight better with India and New Zealand than Pak. Better bowlers Bangladesh have. Although I must admit, Nahid Rana today was breathing fire and absolutely troubling Tom Latham with his pace and bounce. So, unfortunately, Nahid Rana is not fit most of the time, and that is why too little too late for Bangladesh. And yet again, we never kept Bangladesh because there was an inevitable thing about them.
Another stat factoid on Rachin Ravindra. First Kiwi player to score 4 centuries in ICC events.
Yes, goes past Kane Williamson, and prior to that, my another favorite, Nathan Astle. What a player he was. But Raj Das Gupta, okay, that we took, okay. I think it's done. Will Afghanistan come back? At least lot of expectations from them. If they beat England and if Australia lose to South Africa, which I very well think it might happen, then Australia versus Afghanistan's a straight shootout then. Because South Africa, England, then they will kind of complicate matters even further. You could have a situation.
Similar situation over there
Similar,
as well.
yeah.
And there can be 3 teams still that end
Yep.
up with 4 points.
But if Australia, South Africa tomorrow is impacted by rain in Rawalpindi, then you've got a problem. Raj Das Gupta, again, Sushmit Chauhan, I think that's the last comment we'll take. Real downfall of Pak cricket. We grew up watching players like Akram, Waqar, Anwar, Razak who fought till the last ball. This Pakistan cricket team is missing that fighting spirit. They need something inspiring ASAP. Who? it can't be from this current pool. It can't be a Shaheen, can't be a Babar, can't be a Rizwan. Who it can be? Saeem Ayub.
But Sidvi sir, that's not the problem. I'm saying even if Saeem Ayub is coming up the ranks now, he will never be able to become big if the system is like that. You yourself tell me, a Virat Kohli, if he would have been in Pakistan, would he been able to reach where he actually reached while playing for India? There was no chance. So even if there is somebody over there with that much caliber, that much talent, he won't be able to reach the top of the world because their cricket doesn't work like that. As soon as somebody is getting on the top,
because of the factionalism,
they
administrative
find
problems.
people to get out. Virat would have never, if they say that we want Virat, we want Virat. If Virat would have gone there, it would not have been the same case. He would not have been half the player that he is today.
Yep.
For sure, everybody knows that if he would have been in Pakistan.
But I think the final comment of the day, and we'll say it, I think it is the comment of the day.
Yeah.
The construction updates were far more exciting than their actual matches. Was comment of the day, and with that, we bid bye-bye to all of you.
Last comment can be bye-bye Pakistan.
Yep. Because we also will bid bye-bye, but we are still going to be
This
here.
can be a thumb today.
I mean, I've already given the thumb. Park party lasts 5 days, so that's the way. But Harshit, look at it. The construction updates
I
are
saw
far
that.
more exciting.
I saw
So with that comment of the day, and with Kamlesh also saying bye bye Pakistan, even we'll also say bye bye from the Sports Today studio. But we are not eliminated. We are just taking a break. So from me, Harshit and Shashwat, it is bye bye, Nandri, Shubhratri, Shabba Khair. Eat your vegetables.
And don't trouble you.
Subscribe to Sports Today, because from tomorrow onwards, you will get special updates from Pakistan, specifically from Lahore. You do not want to miss that. So bye-bye from all of us here, and subscribe to that. Bye-bye.